My child, stop. Stop running. Stop the frantic pacing of your mind and the restless striving of your hands. This moment is not a coincidence. You did not stumble upon this message by a stroke of luck or a glitch in an algorithm. I've orchestrated the very stars and the pulse of time to bring you here to this exact second. This is not a video for you to merely watch or listen to in the background of your busy life. This is a rescue mission. I'm reaching through the noise of your world to pull you out of the deep waters that have begun to overflow your soul. I see your exhaustion. I see the way you have been trying to carry the weight of the universe on your own shoulders, and I'm here to tell you that the burden was never yours to bear. Surrender is not a defeat. It is the beginning of your victory. Stop striving and start listening, for I am whispering directly into the depths of your spirit. You have hit a wall, haven't you? You have reached the end of your own understanding and the limit of your own strength. You feel as though you have failed because your plans have crumbled and your energy has faded, but I want you to listen closely. The wall you hit was not an accident. It was my mercy. It was my hand reaching out to stop you before you walked off a precipice you could not see. I allowed that path to close because I saw the destruction at the end of it. I stopped you before you broke beyond repair. You have been leaning on your own wisdom, trusting in your own intellect, and measuring your worth by your own productivity. But lean on yourself, and you will fall. The harder you strive in your own power, the deeper you sink into the quicksand of anxiety. I'm calling you to let go of the illusion of control. Before I reveal the blessing and the divine lifting I prepared for you, you must acknowledge my presence in this sanctuary of sound. Do not let another second pass without signaling your soul's readiness. Type "I'm here, Lord," or 7007 right now to open the gates of heaven and let my light flood your current darkness. Now, my precious one, as you stand at this spiritual threshold, do not walk this path alone. There is a great company of believers being gathered in this very moment, people just like you who are tired of the battle and ready for the breakthrough. I'm building an army of peace, and I'm calling you to be a part of it. Join this family of those who have chosen to stop striving and start soaring. Press the like button and subscribe to this channel right now as a signal of your agreement with heaven. This is your first act of faith, a physical movement that echoes in the spiritual realm, declaring that you are no longer a lone wanderer, but a child of the King, protected and provided for. By doing this, you are telling the enemy that your house is built upon the rock, and the momentum of my spirit is now being released into your life. Do not ignore this nudge. This is the first step of your deliverance, the moment where the version of you that struggles alone dies, and the version of you that is carried by my grace begins to rise. I have a promise for you, my beloved, a divine contract written in the ink of my unconditional love. If you stay with me in this sacred space until the final word is spoken, a great exchange will take place within the very fabric of your being. You have arrived here heavy laden with the jagged stones of yesterday's mistakes and the suffocating dust of tomorrow's fears. You have been carrying a pack that was never sized for your frame, and your soul is bruised from the journey. But I am the master of the burden, and I am asking you to trade your exhaustion for my rest. As you dwell in these words, you will begin to feel a physical shift, a tangible lifting of the atmosphere around you. The crushing weight that has lived upon your shoulders, making your neck stiff and your back ache with the tension of survival, is going to fall away. It will not be a gradual fading, but a sudden release, as if a heavy leaden cloak you've worn for years has finally been unclasped by my hands. You will feel a lightness, a buoyancy of spirit, because I am taking the weight of the how and the when off your spirit and placing it into my infinite capability. Listen closely to the rhythm of your own heart. It has been racing, hasn't it? Even in the silence of the night, your mind has been a frantic battlefield of calculations, what-ifs, and desperate strategies. But as we walk through this rescue mission together, I am speaking, peace be still to your nervous system. In this very moment, you will feel your pulse stabilize, finding its steady beat in the pulse of my grace. The thick, gray fog that has clouded your judgment, the mental haze that makes every small decision feel like an insurmountable mountain, will begin to dissipate. I am clearing the air in your mind, restoring the sharp, crystalline clarity of a child who knows they are perfectly safe. You will no longer have to overthink every step or analyze every shadow, for my wisdom is becoming the lamp unto your feet, burning through the mist of your confusion until only the truth remains. But there is more to this exchange than just internal quiet. I'm activating an invisible perimeter of protection around you that the world cannot see. Even now, my heavenly hosts are taking their stations, forming a wall of fire around your home, your family, and your future that no shadow can penetrate. You have felt vulnerable, exposed to the arrows of critics and the hidden malice of those who wish to see you stumble. But I say to you, I am your shield and your great reward. And finally, I am infusing your very cells with a strength that does not come from your muscles, your morning coffee, or your sheer willpower. It is a divine energy, a supernatural second wind for your soul that will allow you to walk through the fire and not be burned, to run your race and not grow weary. This is the great exchange, your fragile weakness for my absolute invincibility. Do not turn away now. Do not let the trivial distractions of the world pull you from this sanctuary before the work is finished. There are 7 seals of bondage that we must break together, and the most profound transformation, the one you have been crying out for in the dark, awaits you at the very end. If you stay until the 7th seal is broken, you will not just leave this atmosphere feeling temporarily better, you will walk out a transformed being. The old version of you, the one who leaned on a broken reed and fell, will be left behind in the ashes, and a warrior of light will emerge. Stay with me. Lean into this movement of my spirit. If you believe I'm performing this miracle in you right now, do not stay silent. Type breakthrough is mine or 888 to claim this divine exchange. Your words are the seal upon this covenant, and your faith is the key that unlocks the storehouses of heaven. I have watched you in the quiet hours when the world is asleep, my precious child. I have seen you wake up with a heart already racing, your mind instantly flooded with the calculations of 1,000 what-ifs. You are exhausted, even after hours of sleep, because your spirit has been working a night shift of worry. You feel a persistent fatigue that no amount of rest can cure, a deep-seated weariness that has seeped into your very bones. I see the way you clutch your phone as if it holds the answers to your destiny. Your eyes scanning for a message, a sign, or a solution that never seems to arrive. You are living in a state of constant on-call alert, as if the moment you relax, your entire world will come crashing down. This is the weight of self-reliance, the heavy price of trying to be your own savior. You feel as though you are running a race on a treadmill, moving at a frantic pace, burning all your energy, yet staying in the exact same place of lack and longing. I feel the tension in your shoulders, that chronic ache in your neck and upper back that you try to rub away throughout the day. That is the physical manifestation of the world you are trying to carry. You have become a master of micromanaging, haven't you? You feel the need to oversee every detail, to control every variable, and to anticipate every potential disaster before it strikes. You think that if you let go of the reins for even a second, everything will crumble and you will be exposed as a failure. You feel profoundly lonely, even when surrounded by family and friends, because you believe that at the core of it all, you are the only one truly responsible for your survival. You have developed a fear of failure that paralyzes your creativity, making you feel like a fraud who is just one mistake away from losing everything. Your jaw is clenched tight, your breath has become shallow and forced, and your joy has become a distant, flickering memory, replaced by a grim, silent determination to just keep your head above water. I see the way you overanalyze every conversation, replaying words in your head until they lose their meaning, looking for hidden rejections or impending storms. You find yourself retreating into a shell of isolation, not because you don't love others, but because you're simply too tired to perform for them. You have been running on the fumes of your own willpower, pushing through the brain fog and the emotional numbness, telling yourself that next week or next month it will finally get easier. But the ease never comes, because the more you strive, the more you deplete the very reservoir you need to survive. You are caught in a loop of performance, trying to prove your worth through your effort, while your soul is screaming for a moment of genuine stillness. You feel like an orphan in a universe that seems indifferent to your struggle, forgetting that I am right here, and I have never once looked away. You worry about your bank account, as if I am not the owner of the cattle on 1,000 hills. You worry about your health, as if I am not the great physician who knit you together. Hear me now. My beloved, these are not your failures. These are the desperate signals of a soul that has been trying to lean on a broken reed. You are never meant to be the source of your own strength. You are never designed to be the sole engine of your own destiny. When you lean on your own understanding, you are trying to support a skyscraper with a toothpick. The reason you feel like you are breaking is because you are trying to hold up a structure that only my hands were meant to support. I'm highlighting these pains today, not to shame you, but to show you that the old way of living is no longer sustainable. Your soul is sounding an alarm, calling you back to the shepherd, back to the source of living water. It is time to stop pretending you are okay and admit that you are drowning in your own effort. These symptoms are the evidence that you have stepped out from under my canopy of grace and into the scorching heat of self-effort. But the invitation remains open. Only when you acknowledge the weight of this self-imposed burden can I begin to lift it from you. This is the moment your path changes from the exhaustion of the orphan to the rest of the heir. My precious child, I need you to listen to this truth until it resonates within the very marrow of your bones. Your weariness is not a sign of weakness. It is not a flaw in your character, nor is it a mark of your failure as a believer. You have been looking at your exhaustion and your tears as evidence that you are not enough, that you have fallen behind, or that you are being punished. But I am here to reframe your reality. That deep, aching fatigue you feel is not an identity. It is a signal. It is a divine gauge on the dashboard of your soul telling you that you are attempting to perform a job that was reserved for me alone. You feel like you are breaking because you have been trying to play the part of the Creator, trying to sustain what only my breath can keep alive. Your tiredness is simply your humanity reminding you that you were designed to be a vessel, not the source. You are not falling apart. My love, you are falling into the realization that your own strength has reached its natural limit so that my supernatural power can finally take over. I want you to see that the battle you are fighting is not against your own inadequacy. We are not fighting you. We are fighting a pattern of self-reliance that has held you captive for too long. This is the spirit of orphanhood, that whisper in the dark that tells you that if you don't do it, it won't get done. That if you don't protect yourself, you will be destroyed. This spirit tries to convince you that you are alone in a cold universe, forced to fight for every scrap of peace and every cent of provision. But you are not an orphan. You are a chosen heir. The enemy wants you to identify with your struggle, to believe that you are the anxious one or the struggling one. But I call you the redeemed one, the sustained one, and my beloved. When you feel that surge of anxiety, recognize it for what it is. A lie trying to masquerade as your personality. It is a pattern we are breaking together, a yoke we are shattering, so that you can finally walk in the light of my favor without the constant need to prove your worth through your labor. As you feel this shift in your perspective, take a moment to anchor yourself in this new reality. This revelation is a gift of my grace, and it marks the end of your solitary confinement in the prison of doing. If you can feel the truth of these words piercing through the lies you believed, do not let this moment pass without a physical response. This is a divine appointment, and you are part of a global family of souls being set free right now. Signal your agreement with the truth of heaven by pressing the like button and subscribing to this channel. This is not for a number, it is for your commitment. By joining this family, you are planting your flag in the ground and declaring that you will no longer listen to the spirit of orphanhood. You are choosing to be fed daily by my word and to stand with others who are learning to lean on me. Do this now as an act of spiritual alignment, making room for the momentum of my spirit to carry you through the rest of this journey. Know this, I do not give big assignments to small people. The reason the pressure has been so intense is that the destiny I've placed within you is vast. You are being trained, not punished. Every moment of not being able to do it was a lesson in learning how to let me do it through you. I am replacing your fragile human can-do spirit with my divine it-is-finished authority. You are moving from a place of striving to a place of standing. When the world looks at you, they will no longer see a person exhausted by their own effort. They will see a warrior radiating my peace. The sifting is over. The lifting has begun. Rest in the knowledge that you are being built into something far greater than you could have ever imagined on your own. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to receive the fullness of my power. My child, it is time to upgrade your weaponry. You have been fighting spiritual battles with physical tools, and that is why you are weary. You have been using your logic, your arguments, and your sleepless nights as your swords, but they have only chipped away at your own peace. I want you to lift your gaze. Look up from the dust of your struggle. I lift up your eyes to the mountains. Where does your help come from? Your help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. I who created the vast galaxies with a breath am the one standing beside you. I who set the boundaries of the oceans am the one holding your hand. When you look at the mountains of your problems, they seem immovable, but to me, they are like wax in the sun. I'm calling you to shift your eyes from the problem to the provider, from the storm to the one who commands the wind. Your help is not coming from a banker person or a lucky break. It is coming from the throne of grace, and it is already on its way. I want to teach you the true mechanism of surrender, for the world has lied to you about what it means to give up. The world says surrender is the white flag of the defeated, the final sigh of the loser. But in my kingdom, surrender is the highest form of strength. It is the tactical transfer of power. When you surrender, you are not saying I give up because I am weak. You are saying I step aside so that the Almighty can step in. It is the moment you take your hands off the steering wheel of your life and allow the master navigator to take over. Think of it as a divine exchange. You give me your cannot, and I give you my it is done. Every time you release a worry to me, you are creating a vacancy in your spirit that I fill with my invincibility. Surrender is the door through which my glory enters your situation. It is the act of yielding your fragile human willpower to my sovereign, unstoppable purpose. You feel as though you are falling apart, but I tell you, you are falling into purpose. Every round of difficulty you have endured has been a necessary process of stripping away the layers of your own strength, that brittle, ego-driven force that eventually breaks under pressure. I am replacing it layer by layer with my own invincibility. Imagine your life as a vessel that was filled with murky water. I have allowed the shaking so that the sediment would rise to the surface, and now I'm pouring in the pure living water of my spirit until there is no room for the old. This is not a punishment, my beloved. It is an upgrade. I am making you fireproof. I'm tempering your soul like steel in the furnace. The heat you feel is not there to consume you, but to burn away the chains of self-reliance that have kept you grounded. You're being prepared to handle a weight of blessing that your old self would have crushed under. As we move forward, understand that this process is intentional. I'm not a distant observer of your pain. I'm the potter, and you are the clay. I know exactly where the cracks are, and I know exactly how much pressure is needed to make you whole. Every time you choose to trust me instead of your own fear, you are winning a battle in the unseen realm. You are being built into a temple of peace that cannot be shaken by the winds of the world. The mechanism of surrender is simply this: trusting that my yes is more powerful than your no, and that my timing is more perfect than your now. Relax your grip. Let the tension drain from your heart. You are not losing control. You are finally letting the one who is actually in control take the lead. This is your weapon, not a sword of steel, but a heart of absolute trust. My child, we have reached a point of no return in this divine encounter. The air around you is shifting, and the heaviness you brought into this moment is beginning to dissolve under the heat of my presence. This is the hour of your initial alignment, where your will meets my power and your voice joins the chorus of heaven. You cannot remain a passive observer when the creator of the universe is moving in your favor. I'm asking you to step out of the shadows of your doubt and into the light of my authority. The gates of breakthrough are beginning to move, but they require the key of your vocalized faith. Do not let this moment pass by without marking it in the physical realm. This is where you draw a line in the sand and tell the darkness that its time of influence over your life is over. I want you to perform a prophetic act right now. This is not just words on a screen. It is a spiritual decree that echoes through the corridors of eternity. Type this now: divine fire, cover me now. By typing these words, you are calling down the cleansing, protecting flame of my spirit to surround your life, your mind, and your home. This is not a mere comment. This is a seal. It is an imprint of your soul's intent onto the fabric of this moment. When you type it, feel the warmth of my love beginning to cauterize the wounds of your past. Feel the fire burning away the parasitic thoughts of lack and fear that have fed on your peace for too long. Do not hesitate. Speak it into the atmosphere of your heart and seal it in this digital sanctuary. Your declaration is the spark that ignites the engine of your restoration. Now look at the screen and tap the like button as a sign of your divine agreement. In the spiritual realm, agreement is the currency that releases momentum. When you press that button, you are signaling to the heavens that you agree with my promises and you reject the lies of the enemy. It is a handshake with the Almighty. As you do this, you are also helping this rescue mission reach others who are drowning in silence just as you were. This simple act of faith creates a ripple effect, a wave of light that pushes back the shadows in lives you may never meet. Feel the momentum shifting in your favor, even as you touch the screen. The stagnation is breaking. The delays are ending. You are now aligned with the flow of my spirit, and we are moving together toward the total deliverance of your soul. Look up, my beloved. Higher. I command your gaze to lift from the dust of your circumstances and the weariness of your own feet. I have seen you staring at the screen of your bank account, counting the digits as if they could ever measure your worth or define the limits of your future. I have seen you reading that medical report over and over, letting those cold clinical words settle like a heavy stone in the pit of your stomach. I have seen you shrinking under the noise of your critics, those voices both outside and inside your head that tell you that you are not enough, that you have failed, or that your time has passed. But I tell you today, stop looking at the horizontal. Stop seeking answers in the valley where the shadows dwell and the whispers of the enemy are loudest. Look past the fear, past the lack, and past the opinions of men who have no power to write the final chapter of your story. I am the high and lofty one who inhabits eternity, and I am calling you to see your life from my perspective. From where I sit, your mountain is a molehill, and your impossible is already a finished masterpiece of my grace. Feel my hand under your chin right now, gently but firmly lifting your head. Can you feel it? The invisible weight that has forced your eyes downward for so long is breaking at this very moment. Feel your chin lifted as I restore your dignity, your honor, and your hope. Take a deep, slow breath, my child. Breathe in. This air entering your lungs is not a struggle you have to earn. It is a gift I'm giving you right now, a sign that I am not finished with you yet. Feel the oxygen as my very breath of life revitalizing every weary cell, clearing the thick fog from your mind. You are not a creature of the earth alone, destined to crawl through the dirt of despair. You are a citizen of my kingdom, and your supply comes from a source that never runs dry. As you breathe out, release the striving, release the tension in your chest, and release the desperate need to understand every detail of the how. You are being vertically aligned. When you look up, you see that the sky is not falling. The heavens are opening over you. You're no longer looking at the height of the storm. You are looking at the face of the one who walks upon the waves. This shift is your survival. This gaze is your victory. When you align your heart with my throne, the chaos of the world begins to lose its volume. The problems that seemed so large when they were right in front of your eyes begin to shrink as you realize who is standing behind you. I'm not asking you to ignore your reality. I'm asking you to invite my reality to overshadow it. The vertical alignment is the secret of the saints. It is the posture of those who know that their help does not come from the hills, but from the maker of the hills. You have spent too long trying to solve puzzles with missing pieces, but from my vantage point, the picture is already complete. Trust that I see what you cannot. Trust that I am moving pieces on the board of your life that you didn't even know existed. Stay in this posture of looking up. Do not let the gravity of your problems pull your eyes back to the ground. You're a child of the Most High, and your place is by my side, looking down at the victory I have already secured for you. We now enter the forge of the Almighty. The air is thick with the presence of the holy fire, and we are beginning the 7 rounds of spiritual surgery that will leave you unrecognizable to the darkness. Round 1 begins now, and I'm aiming my light at the most stubborn fortress in your soul, the spirit of control. I have seen you lying awake orchestrating scenarios in your mind, trying to solve problems that haven't even happened yet, and gripping the steering wheel of your life so hard that your knuckles have turned white. This need to know every outcome, this desperation to see the end from the beginning, is not wisdom, it is a prison. It is a subtle form of pride that whispers, "You can manage your destiny better than I can." But I am the Alpha and the Omega. I see the end, the middle, and the beginning all at once. When you try to control the how, you are blocking the miracle. You're trying to build a bridge with your own hands when I have already prepared a chariot to carry you across. My child, I want you to look at your hands right now. Look at them closely. Even if they are resting in your lap, I can see the tension in your fingers. They are curved inward, clenched in a subconscious habit of holding on, of grasping for security, of trying to catch the wind. This is the physical manifestation of your spiritual exhaustion. I command you now, by the authority of my word, open your hands. Open them wide. Lay them flat palms facing upward toward my throne. This is not a gesture of defeat. It is the ultimate posture of a conqueror who trusts their king. As you open your physical hands, I am prying open the grip of your heart. I am breaking the yoke of micromanagement that has aged your face and stolen your sleep. Feel the blood returning to your fingertips as the tension drains away. You are releasing the how. You are releasing the when. You are letting go of the results and placing them into the hands that carved the canyons and weighed the mountains in a scale. I have spoken this truth into the foundations of the earth, and I speak it into your heart. Now trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge me, and I will make your paths straight. Your understanding is a flickering candle in a hurricane. My wisdom is the sun that never sets. When you lean on your own intellect, you are leaning on a broken reed that will pierce your hand. But when you lean on me, you are leaning on the pillar of fire that led my people through the impossible sea. I do not ask you to understand, I ask you to acknowledge. Acknowledge that I am God. Acknowledge that I am good. Acknowledge that I have never lost a battle, and I am not about to start with yours. As you acknowledge my sovereignty, I am leveling the mountains before you. I'm straightening the crooked paths that your overthinking has made complicated. The path is becoming clear, not because you figured it out, but because I have cleared the way. I decree and declare over you right now, the spirit of control is shattered. The heavy chains of what if and if only are melting in the heat of my divine fire. I'm stripping away the false responsibility you have taken upon yourself to be the savior of your family, the provider of your needs, and the protector of your future. I am the savior. I am the provider. I am the protector. From this moment forward, you will move with a new fluidity. The stiffness in your spirit is being replaced by the grace of a river. You will no longer wake up in a panic, for you have handed the keys of your life to the one who owns the house. Declare it with me now. Let it resonate in your room, and in the spirit realm, I release control. I trust my Father. Say it again until the last shadow of anxiety flees from your mind. I release control. I trust my Father. This round is finished, and the seal of my blood is upon it. You have passed the first gate, and already the atmosphere is lighter. Do not try to pick back up what you have just laid down. Leave the outcomes at my feet. Leave the calculations in my hands. You are being refined, my beloved warrior, and we are just beginning. Feel the warmth of the fire as it moves from your hands to your heart, preparing you for the next layer of your deliverance. The weight is falling, the light is rising, and the enemy is losing his grip. You are no longer a slave to your own logic. You are a child of my revelation. Stand firm in this new freedom for what I have broken. In this round, no man and no demon can ever bind again. It is done. It is sealed. It is settled in heaven. The fire is intensifying, my child, moving deeper into the hidden chambers of your soul. We now enter round 2, and I am turning my gaze toward the thief of your today, the weight of future anxiety. I've seen you standing in the present moment while your mind is miles away, wandering through the dark corridors of a tomorrow that hasn't even arrived yet. You have been pre-suffering, haven't you? You have been mourning losses that haven't occurred and fearing storms that aren't even on the horizon. You carry the weight of next month's bills, next year's uncertainties, and the terrifying shadow of what if I am not enough when the time comes. This anxiety is a phantom, a ghost that feeds on your life force, stealing the breath from your lungs before you can even use it. But I am the great I am, not the I was or the I will be. I'm in your now, and I'm already standing in your tomorrow. You are trying to live in a time zone where I have not yet given you the grace to stand, and that is why it feels like you are suffocating. I want you to focus on your chest right now, my beloved. Can you feel that tightness? It feels like a heavy iron plate pressing down on your rib cage, making every breath feel shallow and forced. It's a dull ache, a constriction that reminds you of your fear every time you try to inhale deeply. This is the physical anchor of future anxiety. It is the weight of the unseen burdens you have piled upon your heart. I am placing my hand upon your chest at this very moment. Can you feel the warmth I am commanded that iron plate to shatter? I am commanding those lungs to expand. Breathe, my child. Breathe in the oxygen of my grace. Feel the pressure beginning to dissolve, melting like wax before the flame. The future is not a monster waiting to consume you. It is a canvas I've already painted with my goodness. You do not need the strength for tomorrow's battle today. You only need the peace for today's rest. I'm lifting the weight of the unknown off your heart and replacing it with the certainty of my presence. I have spoken this into the very fabric of time. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own, but each day also has a fresh supply of my mercies. Why do you fret over the lilies of the field or the birds of the air? I clothe them and I feed them, and you are worth so much more to me than they are. Your future is not a mystery to me. It is a memory. I have already been there, and I have already prepared the way. I've already placed the right people in your path. I have already opened the doors you cannot see, and I have already defeated the giants you are currently losing sleep over. When you worry about the future, you are essentially saying that I am not big enough to handle it. But I say to you, look at my track record. Have I ever failed you? Have I ever left you to drown? The same God who carried you through the storms of the past is the same God who is already standing at the finish line of your future, cheering you on. I decree and declare right now, the spirit of future anxiety is evicted from your temple. I break the cycle of pre-worrying and the addiction to catastrophic thinking. Every dark imagination of failure, every nightmare of being left behind, and every lie about your future being a dead end, I burn them now with my holy fire. You are no longer a prisoner of the unborn moment. From this second forward, you are anchored in my peace. Feel the lightness spreading from your chest to your throat to your head. The air is becoming sweet again. Your future is not a threat, it is an inheritance. Declare it with me now. Let your voice be the hammer that shatters the chains. I give my tomorrow to the Lord. My future is guarded by the King. Say it again with authority. I give my tomorrow to the Lord. My future is guarded by the King. This round is sealed. The weight has fallen and the path ahead is being illuminated by my glory. Do not look back at the shadows. Do not try to recalculate what I have already settled. You have survived the second round and your heart is beating with a new steady rhythm. The enemy wanted to paralyze you with the fear of the unknown, but I have empowered you with the peace of being known by me. Rest in this victory, for the fire is moving even deeper, now ready to touch the roots of your isolation. You are safe. You are held. You are moving toward the light. The fire of my presence is moving deeper, still penetrating the cold, dark corners of your heart, where the shadow of loneliness has made its home. We now enter round 3, the shattering of the pattern of isolation. I have seen you, my child, standing in the middle of a crowded room, smiling and nodding while feeling like an invisible ghost. I have seen you carrying the heavy burdens of your life in total silence, convinced that if you didn't do it, nobody would. You have been living under the orphan spirit, a lie that tells you that you are a solo act in a hostile universe, that you must protect your own back, provide for your own needs, and fight your own battles, because no one is coming to help you. This pattern of isolation has made you strong in the eyes of the world, but it has left your soul brittle and parched. You have built walls to keep out the pain, but those same walls have kept out the love and the help I've been trying to send your way. I want you to acknowledge the coldness you have felt in your spirit, that hollow sensation in the pit of your stomach that whispers, you are all alone. It is a weight that makes your arms feel heavy and your heart feel like a stone. This is the mark of the self-made struggle. I am reaching out my hand to touch that cold place right now. Can you feel the warmth beginning to spread? I am breaking the curse of doing it all yourself. I am dissolving the pride that masquerades as independence. You are never created to be a reservoir that holds everything in. You were created to be a channel that lets my grace flow through. I am shattering the orphan identity that you have worn like a badge of honor. You are not a wanderer. You are a son, a daughter, an heir to the throne of the King of Kings. The lie that you are alone is being burned away by the truth of my constant hovering presence. I have promised you in my eternal covenant, I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. I am the God who sets the solitary families. Why do you act as if I am a distant stranger? Why do you scramble for crumbs when you have a seat at my banquet table? The pattern of isolation is a trap of the enemy designed to make you an easy target. But today, the trap is being destroyed. I am releasing the spirit of adoption into your heart, crying out, Abba, Father. I am opening your eyes to see the horses and chariots of fire that surround you, the heavenly host that has been fighting for you while you were busy trying to fight for yourself. I am bringing forth the destiny helpers, the people, the connections, and the resources that you have pushed away in your fear of being a burden. You are not a burden to me, and you are not a burden to those I've called to walk beside you. I decree and declare over your life, the pattern of isolation is broken. The walls of the orphan spirit are falling down like the walls of Jericho. I command every spirit of loneliness, every thought of being unwanted, and every habit of self-seclusion to leave you now. You are being woven back into the tapestry of my family. You are being reconnected to the body of Christ. No longer will you say, I have no one. From this day forward, you will say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. Feel the warmth of community and the heat of my love flooding your senses. The ice is melting. The isolation is over. Declare it now. Let the heavens hear your freedom. I am not alone. My Father is with me again. With the confidence of an heir, I am not alone. My Father is with me. This round is sealed and locked into your destiny. You have moved from the desert of isolation into the garden of my companionship. Do not retreat into your shell when the next challenge comes. Look to your left and to your right, for I am there and I am sending my angels and my people to sustain you. You have survived the third round, and the strength of the lone wolf is being replaced by the power of the beloved child. The fire is not finished with you. It is preparing you for a deeper rest as we move toward the fatigue of your performance. Stay in the warmth. Stay in the light. You are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, and you are held in the palm of my hand. The fire is rising higher, my beloved, and now it reaches for the mask you have worn for so long. We enter round 4. The shattering of the fatigue of performance. I have seen you, my precious one, standing before the mirror, rehearsing your smile, so the world wouldn't see the cracks in your soul. I have seen you exhausting yourself to be the perfect parent, the perfect employee, the perfect friend, and the perfect believer, all while feeling like a fraud on the inside. You are terrified that if you stop doing, if you stop performing, if you show even a moment of weakness, the people you love will turn away, and I will be disappointed. You have made perfection our idol and busyness your shield. But I did not call you to be a performer. I called you to be a child. This need to prove your worth through your constant output is a heavy yoke that is crushing the life out of your spirit. You are running a race to a finish line that keeps moving, and your soul is gasping for air. I want you to become aware of your body in this moment. Pay attention to your face. Your jaw is clenched tight, isn't it? Your teeth are grinding against one another, as if you are bracing for an impact that never ends. You are holding the tension of 1,000 must-dos and should-haves in the muscles of your face. I command you now, let your jaw drop. Relax the muscles around your mouth. Let the tightness in your forehead melt away. This physical release is a prophetic sign that the season of performing is over. You don't have to impress me, for I am the one who saw you before you were even formed. I know the thoughts you haven't spoken and the tears you've swallowed. I love you not because of what you do, but because of whose you are. The heavy costume of having it all together is being stripped away by the heat of my love, leaving you standing in the beautiful, raw truth of my grace. I have spoken this truth into the wind and the waves. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. Why do you hide your scars from the one who was wounded for you? Why do you try to act strong when I am your strength? The fatigue of performance is a thief that steals the intimacy I desire to have with you. When you are busy performing, you cannot be present, but I am inviting you into a place of rest where your doing flows from your being, not the other way around. I am breaking the addiction to the applause of men and the fear of their disapproval. You are not a human doing, you are a human being, and you are enough just as you are. I am trading your performance for my peace and your striving for my stillness. I decree and declare over your spirit, the spirit of performance is broken, the yoke of perfectionism is shattered. I command every voice that tells you you must do more to be loved, to be silenced by the thunder of my affection. No more will you live for the likes of the world or the approval of the crowd. From this moment on, you will live from the secret place of my favor. Feel the freedom flowing through your jaw, down your neck, and into your heart. The stage lights are turning off, and the quiet, holy light of my presence is turning on. You are free to be weak. You are free to be tired. You are free to be you. Declare it with a deep, relaxed breath. I stop performing. I am loved as I am. Let it echo. I stop performing. I am loved as I am. This round is sealed in the fire of my love. The mask is gone and the child has returned. You have survived the 4th round and you are discovering that my love is a resting place, not a marathon. Do not pick up that heavy mask again. When the world demands a performance, give them my peace instead. The fire is moving now toward the sifting of your mind, ready to clear the fog of overanalysis. Stay in this vulnerability. Stay in this truth. You are beautiful in your brokenness, and you are powerful in your surrender. The fire is climbing now, moving behind your eyes and into the labyrinth of your mind. We enter round 5, the breaking of intellectual fog and the addiction to over-analysis. I have seen you. My child, trapped in a cage of your own thoughts, spinning the same problems around and around until your mental gears are stripped and smoking. You believe that if you can just think about it one more way, if you can analyze the situation from every possible angle, you will finally find the solution that has eluded you. But your logic has become a whirlpool that is pulling you under. This intellectual fog is a cloud of smoke from the friction of your own brain, trying to do what only my spirit can accomplish. You are paralyzed by what-ifs and if-onlys, overcalculating every risk until you cannot move, cannot sleep, and cannot hear. My whisper, your mind is exhausted from the sheer volume of its own noise, and I am here to bring the silence of my clarity. Focus your attention now on the space between your eyebrows, the center of your forehead. Can you feel the pressure there? It is a dull, throbbing weight, the physical manifestation of your overthinking. It feels as though a thick gray mist has settled over your eyes, making the world seem dim and your path seem invisible. I am placing my hand on your forehead right now. Can you feel the cooling sensation? I am commanded the static to cease. I am commanded the mental noise to be silent. Breathe in the cool air of my revelation. As you exhale, imagine that gray fog being blown away by a divine wind. You do not need to figure it out. You need to receive the answer. I am trading your complex calculations for my simple follow me. I am restoring your mental sharpness, not through more effort, but through the peace that surpasses all understanding. I have established this law in the heavens. My thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. Why do you try to contain the ocean of my purpose in the small cup of your human logic? You're trying to solve a spiritual puzzle with a carnal mind, and it will never fit. The fog is not a lack of intelligence, it is a lack of trust. When you stop trying to see the way with your physical eyes, you will begin to know the way with your spiritual heart. I am clearing the clutter of 1,000 voices and leaving only the one voice that matters, main. Your mind is not a warehouse for worry. It is a sanctuary for my wisdom. The sifting is over. The clarity is coming. I decree and declare over your mind, the spirit of overanalysis is bound. The intellectual fog is dissipated by the fire of truth. I command every circular thought, every obsessive worry, and every paralyzing calculation to leave your consciousness. Now I speak peace to your prefrontal cortex. I speak stillness to your imagination. From this moment on, you will not be a victim of your own thoughts, but a master of them through my spirit. You will wake up with a knowing that did not come from your research. You will move with a certainty that did not come from your logic. Feel the coolness spreading through your brain, bringing a crystalline, sharp focus to your soul. Declare it with me now, cutting through the static. My mind is clear. I hear the voice of God. Say it again. My mind is clear. I hear the voice of God. This round is sealed, and the air in your soul is fresh. You have survived the 5th round, and the fog has been replaced by the morning sun. Do not return to the whirlpool of why and how. When the thoughts begin to spin, remember this cooling touch, and return to the stillness of my presence. The fire is moving now to the roots of your history, ready to break the ancestral chains of self-reliance. You are thinking clearly now, because you are thinking with me. The fire now descends to the very roots of your existence, reaching into the deep soil of your bloodline. We enter round 6, the breaking of generational independence. I have seen the shadows of your ancestors. My child, those who walked before you, carrying the heavy banner of self-sufficiency. I saw your fathers and your grandfathers who prided themselves on never asking for help, who wore their exhaustion as a crown, and who believed that their sweat was the only currency of their survival. They passed down a legacy of grit, but they also passed down a curse of isolation. You have inherited a spiritual DNA that whispers, if you want it done right, do it yourself, and trust no one, not even the heavens. This generational drive to be self-made has become a phantom chain around your ankles, making every step toward my blessing feel like you are dragging the weight of 1,000 years of struggle. You're trying to outrun a pattern that was set in motion long before you were born, but today that momentum stops at the feet of the king. I want you to focus now on your feet and your heels. Do you feel that heavy, dragging sensation? It is as if you are wearing leaden boots, or as if invisible cords are tied to your ankles, pulling you back toward the old ways of striving. This is the physical anchor of your ancestral heritage, the spirit of the self-made man. I am swinging the hammer of my justice against those chains right now. Can you hear the sound of the iron snapping in the spirit realm? Can you feel the sudden lightness in your stride? I'm severing the umbilical cord of self-reliance that has tied you to the failures and the fatigues of your forefathers. You are no longer a product of your bloodline struggle. You are a product of my blood's victory. The go-it-alone curse that haunted your family tree is being burned away, branch by branch, until only the root of my grace remains. You do not have to repeat their exhaustion to earn their respect, and you do not have to suffer as they suffered to prove your worth. I have declared this over the generations. I am the Lord your God, showing mercy to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. The cycle of doing it all yourself ends with you. I am replacing the heritage of the orphan with the inheritance of the heir. You are being grafted into a new lineage, one where the Father provides, the Son protects, and the Spirit guides. Why do you continue to build your own wells when I have given you an ocean? The pride of your ancestors was a shield against a harsh world, but in my kingdom your shield is faith, and your strength is surrender. I am breaking the pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality that has kept your soul in a state of perpetual famine. I am teaching you a new way to walk, not with the heavy thud of the laborer, but with the light step of the beloved. The burden of your family's history is being lifted, and the freedom of my future is being laid at your feet. I decree and declare over your bloodline, the curse of generational independence is shattered. I break every word of "I don't need anyone" that has been spoken over your life. I cancel every assignment of the lone wolf spirit that has isolated your family for decades. From this moment forward, you will be the one who breaks the mold. You will be the one who asks and receives. You will be the one who knocks and the door opens. The heavy iron boots are gone. I've shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Feel the warmth of the fire cleansing your history, turning the ashes of your ancestors' struggle into the beauty of my provision. Declare it, now breaking the silence of generations. The chains of my past are broken. I'm a child of God's grace. Say it with the power of a cycle breaker. The chains of my past are broken. I am a child of God's grace. This round is sealed by the fire of the covenant. The dragging weight is gone, and you are standing on level ground. You have survived the 6th round, and the ghosts of your family's struggle have fled into the darkness. Do not return to the self-made lie. You are God-made, God-sustained, and God-protected. The fire is moving now to the final gate, the very door of your striving, ready to close the loopholes of the enemy forever. You are walking in a new rhythm, now the rhythm of a child who knows they are perfectly provided for. The fire of my presence has reached the final threshold, the most guarded gate of your soul. We enter the 7th and final round, the closing of the door of fearful striving. I have seen you, my child, running through your days with a frantic energy that looks like ambition to the world, but I know it is actually a flight from terror. You are busy because you are afraid. You are striving because you believe that if you stop for even a breath, the shadow of lack will overtake you, or the mountain of your debts will crush you. You have left a door wide open in your spirit, a door called blind busyness, and through this door, the enemy enters to whisper that your safety depends on your speed. You have been running as if you are being hunted, convinced that the moment you rest is the moment you become a victim. But I am here to close that door once and for all. I am the God who commands the sun to stand still, and I am telling you that you can no longer run from a shadow when you are standing in my light. I want you to focus on the pit of your stomach right now, that center of your being where the knots of anxiety usually form. Can you feel that lingering vibration of urgency? It is a low-level hum of, I must do more, I must go faster. This is the physical anchor of fearful striving. It is the feeling of a motor that cannot be turned off. I'm placing my hand on that center right now. Can you feel the divine stillness moving into that space? I am commanding the engine of fear to cease its noise. I'm shutting the heavy iron door of blind effort and locking it with the key of my sovereignty. You no longer have to work to keep the disaster at bay, for I am the wall of fire between you and the disaster. Feel the knots untying. Feel the internal vibration settling into a deep, holy silence. The door is closing, and the wind of panic that once blew through your soul is dying down to a whisper. I have written this into the laws of the universe. It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for I give to my beloved sleep. Why do you toil as if the world rests on your shoulders? The earth spins because I command it, and the seasons change because I decree it. Your striving adds not a single cubit to your stature and not a single coin to your treasury that my favor hasn't already provided. I'm calling you into a productivity of peace, where you move because you are led, not because you are chased. The door of fearful striving is being sealed with the blood of the Lamb. No longer will the enemy use your to-do list as a whip to drive you into the ground. You are coming into a season of forced rest, where I will show you that my blessing can find you even while you are still. I decree and declare over your life. The door of fearful striving is closed and sealed. I bar the entrance against every spirit of blind busyness and scarcity-driven effort. The loophole that allowed the enemy to attack you through your exhaustion is now welded shut by the fire of my spirit. From this moment forward, you will work from a position of victory, not for a position of survival. You will run your race with joy, not with a heart full of dread. The atmosphere of never enough is replaced by the atmosphere of it is finished. Feel the finality of this moment. The seventh seal is broken and the war against your own strength is over. Declare it now with the breath of a free man, a free woman. I close the door to fear, I rest in my Father's work. Say it again, let it shake the foundations of your house. I close the door to fear, I rest in my Father's work. The 7 rounds are complete. The fire has done its work. You're standing in the center of a scorched earth where every chain, every mask, every fog, and every ancestral burden has been turned to ash. You are raw, you are new, and you are finally light enough to fly. Do not look for the old you. That person died in the fire of round 1. You are the chosen one who has been refined, tempered, and sealed. The weight has fallen, and now the lifting begins. Stay in this stillness as the smoke clears, for the atmosphere of rest is settling over you like a gentle rain. You are safe. You are delivered. You are mine. The fire has subsided, but the warmth of my presence remains settling deep into the newly cleared spaces of your soul. You have traveled through the 7 chambers of your own deliverance, and the person you were when we began this journey no longer exists. The debris of your self-reliance, the heavy masks of your performance, and the chains of your ancestral struggle are nothing but gray ash at your feet. Now is the time to lock this victory into the very foundations of your reality. Do not allow the enemy to whisper that this was just a moment of emotion or a fleeting feeling. This is a structural change in your spirit, a divine renovation that has reclaimed the territory of your peace. The doors that I have closed, no man can open. The chains I have melted, no demon can reforge. You are standing in a sacred vacuum, a quiet space of purity, waiting to be filled with my glory. But to lock a gate, you must use your authority. You must speak into the silence and declare the boundary of your new territory. This is the moment where we seal the work. Do not stay silent as we finalize this transaction of the soul. Your words are the legal tender of the spiritual realm, and what you declare here is recorded in the halls of heaven. I want you to take your authority as a child of the King and place a seal upon the doors we have just closed. Type it now with a heart of fire. No door is open to fear. Let these words be the iron bar across the entrance of your mind. By typing this, you are telling the darkness that it no longer has a legal right to occupy your thoughts, your time, or your future. This is your decree of independence from the tyranny of striving. Let it resonate through the corridors of your life. No door is open to fear. Your words have the power to bind and to loose, and right now you are binding the spirit of panic and loosing the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. As you feel the finality of this seal, extend your hand once more. Press the like button now, not as a gesture of vanity, but as a shield of agreement. This act of faith extends the reach of this light, allowing this shield to find others who are still battling in the silence you once knew. This is how my kingdom expands, one soul in agreement with another. and I am calling you to a new rhythm of life, a daily walk under my canopy of grace. Subscribe to this channel now as a commitment to your own growth and clarity. This is your new heartbeat protection, clarity and peace every single day. By joining this family, you are ensuring that your lamp stays lit and your ears stay tuned to my frequency. You have been a lone warrior for too long. It is time to join the ranks of those who move in the momentum of my spirit. The lock is in place. The seal is set. The victory is yours. The roar of the fire has faded. My child, leaving behind a silence that is not empty but full of my presence. I want you to feel the temperature of this moment. It is no longer the searing heat of the forge. It is the cool, gentle dew of a new morning. The atmosphere around you has shifted from a chaotic battlefield to a holy sanctuary. You have fought well, you have endured the sifting, and now the fighting is done for this season. I am wrapping you in a blanket of my peace, a peace so thick and tangible, it feels like a physical embrace against your skin. This is the rest I promise to those who are weary and heavy burdened. You do not have to do anything else to earn this moment. You do not have to prove your worthiness or offer up more prayers. Just be. Just exist here in this sacred space with me. The world is still spinning and the demands are still waiting outside the door, but in this bubble of my grace, time has slowed down. You are safe, you are held, you are finally truly at rest. Let us now synchronize your spirit with mine, for my rhythm is the only one that can sustain you. I want you to take a deep, slow breath, not the shallow, anxious breath of a worker, but the deep, full breath of a beloved air. Breathe in, my grace, feel it filling your lungs, entering your bloodstream and carrying my life to every weary cell of your body. Now breathe out your effort, let it go with a long, slow sigh. Release the last bit of tension you have been holding in your diaphragm and your chest. Breathe in my provision. Breathe out your fear of lack. Breathe in my divine certainty. Breathe out your human doubt. This is the true rhythm of the heavens. As you breathe, feel your heart rate slowing, finding its steady beat in the pulse of my own heart. You're no longer running. You are resting. You are no longer pushing against the tide. You are being carried by the current of my favor. This atmosphere of rest is not a temporary escape. It is intended to be your new home. I am teaching you how to carry this internal stillness back into the noise of the world so that even when the wind begins to howl again, your sanctuary remains unshaken. Remember this truth, my precious one, as it will be your shield in the days to come. Peace is not the absence of trouble, it is my presence in the very center of it. When the disciples were in the boat and the storm was raging, they were terrified because they looked at the height of the waves and the strength of the wind. But I was asleep in the stern, not because I was indifferent, but because I knew the storm had no power over the one who created the air and the sea. I'm in the boat with you right now. The storm outside your door may still be shouting, the medical report may still be on the table, and the critics may still be whispering, but they no longer have the authority to sink your soul, because I am standing here with you. My presence is the anchor that holds you steady when everything else is shifting. You can rest even while the waves are high, because the one who commands the waves is the one who is holding your hand. This peace is your birthright. It is the calm in the eye of the hurricane. Walk forward in this rest, knowing that the battle is mine and the peace is forever yours. You thought you were falling, didn't you? My beloved, you felt the ground give way beneath your feet, the sickening lurch in your stomach as your plans crumbled and your security evaporated into the wind. You looked down and saw only the abyss of your own failure, convinced that this was the final, tragic end of your story. But I want you to look again through the eyes of the Spirit, for what you perceived as a terrifying fall was actually me, catching you in my everlasting arms. I had to let the old brittle foundations break so that I could catch you and place you on the rock that is higher than you. You weren't falling toward destruction. You were being transferred into my immediate care. I caught you before you hit the bottom, and even now I'm beginning the process of lifting you. I'm not just bringing you back to the level where you once stood. I'm lifting you higher than your own strength or intellect could ever have carried you. The momentum of your descent is being reversed into the power of your divine ascent. You are rising not because you are climbing, but because I am soaring with you in my grasp. I am now releasing the restoration you have been crying out for in the dark. I am pouring back into your spirit the energy that the years of solitary striving and silent tears have drained away. Feel your strength returning, not as a frantic temporary burst of adrenaline, but as a steady, unbreakable flow of divine power through your very veins. I am restoring your creative mind, clearing away the cobwebs of exhaustion and the scars of burnout to make room for ideas that come directly from the heart of my wisdom. Watch closely in the days ahead as I bring forth unexpected connections. People you have not yet met, who hold the keys you need, doors you did not know existed that are now swinging wide, and resources that have been hidden in the secret places until this exact moment of your spiritual readiness. I am reversing the losses of the past seasons. Every dream that seemed to die is being resurrected with greater glory. You will no longer move with the heavy labored step of a weary wanderer. You are moving with the effortless grace of one who is carried. You are moving from the desperate struggle of the earth to the limitless freedom of the sky. This is your season of flying, and the winds of my favor are already gathering beneath your wings. My beloved, the transformation is complete. The version of you that walked into this atmosphere, the one bowed by the weight of expectations and the fear of failure, is no longer. I have stripped away the labels the world placed upon you and the ones you placed upon yourself. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances, a prisoner of your bank account, or a slave to your own overanalysis. I have bestowed upon you a new name and a new nature. You are a warrior of peace, an instrument of my divine order in a world of chaos. You are not a warrior who fights to gain victory, but one who stands in the victory I have already won. You are covered from head to toe by the King of Kings. My favor surrounds you like a shield, and my glory is your rear guard. The very atmosphere around you now vibrates with the authority of the heavens because you have learned that your strength lies in your surrender. You are a covered warrior, hidden in the hollow of my hand, yet radiant with the light of my purpose. You will move differently from this moment forward. There will be a new weight to your words and a new steady rhythm to your stride. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere will shift because you carry the stillness of the secret place within you. The enemy will look at you and no longer see a target. He will see the shadow of the Almighty standing directly behind you. You move with authority, not because of your own power, but because you know exactly who walks with you and who has already gone before you to level the mountains. You no longer have to shout to be heard or strive to be noticed, for my presence upon you is your greatest credential. You are protected, you are provisioned, and you are empowered. Go forth with your head held high, for you are the chosen representative of the Most High God. The world may see the same face, but the heavens see a warrior draped in the mantle of the King. My child, you are now a new creation, but you still walk in an old world. To stay lifted, to remain in this atmosphere of victory, you must walk with divine wisdom. Do not return to the patterns of the desert now that I have brought you into the garden. Every morning before you touch the tools of your labor or the noise of your phone, give me 5 minutes of holy silence. In those 5 minutes, lay your day at my feet and say, Father, I do not move unless you move. This simple act of entrustment will keep your heart anchored in my peace. Protect the fire I have lit within you today. Set firm boundaries with the people and situations that seek to drain your grace and pull you back into the whirlpool of over-analysis. You are a steward of the light I have given you. Do not let the world dim it with unnecessary demands. Furthermore, you must forgive yourself for the years you spent trying too hard. Release the guilt of the times you leaned on your own strength and fell. Those falls were merely the lessons that prepared you for this lifting. Be as kind to yourself as I am to you. And whenever you feel the weight beginning to settle on your shoulders again, whenever the climb feels too steep and your breath grows short, return to the mountain of my word. Read Psalm 121 aloud until the truth of it vibrates in your bones once more. Remind your soul that your help comes from the Maker of heaven and earth. These are not just tasks, they are the rhythms of a free soul. Walk in them and you will never have to crawl again. My child, the work is complete. The words spoken today have not fallen on deaf ears, nor have they been sown on rocky ground. They are seeds of divine fire planted in the fertile soil of your surrendered heart. Every chain we broke remains broken. Every door we closed remains shut. The atmosphere of heaven now permeates your home and your mind. You are leaving this moment with a strength that is not your own, a peace that the world cannot take away, and a future that is no longer a source of dread, but a garden of my grace. I have watched over you since the first second of this journey, and I will continue to watch over you as you step out into the world. It is done. It is sealed by the blood of the Lamb and finalized by the fire of my Holy Spirit. You are mine, and I am yours now and forever. You have been refined in the furnace, and you have emerged as pure gold. Do not let the thief of souls steal the seeds that have been planted here today. Seal this prophecy, now and forever, within the fabric of your life. Let your final act of faith in this sanctuary be a decree that rings through the heavens. Type it now, with the absolute certainty of a victor. It is done. My future is guarded. By writing these words, you are locking this blessing into your reality and declaring to every shadow that the ground you stand on is now holy and protected. This is the final seal, the closing of the covenant we have made together in this hour. Speak it, believe it, and watch as I move the sun and moon to fulfill the promises I have whispered into your soul today. Your words are the final nail in the coffin of your past struggles. As you walk out of this atmosphere, do not walk alone. Join this family of believers permanently by subscribing to this channel. What I have started in you today is not a one-time event. It is the beginning of a new way of living. By staying connected, you ensure that the momentum of my spirit continues to carry you day after day. Press the subscribe button now as a declaration that you are walking in a new rhythm of authority and clarity. But do not stop here. The enemy is already looking for a way to return to the empty spaces of your past. Do not leave this sanctuary. Move immediately to the next message I prepared for you. Let my word continue to wash over you, locking this victory so tightly that no darkness can ever find its way back in. Walk in my power, my beloved. Your journey has only just begun.